Hey, how's it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I showed you the step-by-step how you can change the oxygen sensor of your Honda CRF300L. Let's get started. Before I show to you how to do, you could be wondering, why do I need to know that? Is that an important thing to know? And I'll be honest with you, probably not. It is not a very hard job to do, and the O2 sensor, which is connected here to your exhaust pipe, very likely will last the lifetime of the motorcycle, or at least I tell you, it will last a very long time. I couldn't tell you here if it's 100,000 kilometers, 80,000, but it will last you a very long time. Now, you will have to touch it in case you're changing the exhaust pipe. So if you're getting a full system, not only here the end can, but if you're really changing the pipe, then you will need to know how to do that. And one of my goals here on the channel is to create, let's call it a maintenance video library for the community of CRF300L and rally riders. So that's why I'm showing you how to do. This would not be a top priority thing for you to know. So with that out of the way, let me show to you how to do it. We're going to start by removing the seat. So you need a 5mm Allen bit socket. You have to remove these screws on both sides. So we need to get the seat off the motorcycle. Now let's remove this bolt in here, also with an Allen bit number 5. If you follow now here the side plastic, up top connecting the red plastic and the white plastic, there's a black pin here up top. You have to press in the middle, and then you can pull out with your fingernails like this, and then you can pull the side fairing. Now we need to get this bolt, and this bolt out. Where you have the plastic cover for the radiator, up here, up top, there's another plastic pin that you have to, or plastic clip that you have to press in the center, and then you pull out with your fingernails. And now you can pull the plastic out. So here's our guy, and you're going to need a 17mm open-ended spanner. It has to be an open-ended spanner. Throughout this entire video, I'm using the Royal Moto toolkit, and this tool is included with your kit. Okay, so you just hook it in there. Now, very important, I have just loosened it, but we are not going to spin this all the way. Let me show to you why. As you can see in here, the oxygen sensor is connected to a cable. So if we would just keep spinning this in here, we're going to twist this cable, and you could even risk damaging this cable. So that's why before we undo the oxygen sensor, we need to disconnect the actual connector. So just follow along this cable, and then you're going to be able to loosen the cable like this, okay? And it will connect in here to this guy, this part in here. Now let me give you a better angle so you see how you can disconnect it. Look for this brown clip in here, and if you press from the top and bottom of this clip like this, and at the same time you push it inside, it will become loose, okay? So you can see it's loose now. So here's our guy. Let me get this out of the way. There's our guy. To loosen now the cable of the oxygen sensor, you're going to press here on the back. You press like this, and as you press, you're able to pull it out. There it is. So now that the cable is loose, we can go ahead and finish unscrewing it. And here you want to make sure and spin the cable together with it, so you don't put any pressure on the cable. And there it is, your oxygen sensor. If you're wondering what's the purpose of the sensor, actually this is a very important sensor. This is what helps the ECU, or the brain of your motorcycle, to judge how much fuel it needs to inject. So in other words, what this is doing after the combustion, as the exhaust gases are coming out of the exhaust pipe, this is mounted to your exhaust pipe. So this is, in other words, it's reading, it's sniffing how much oxygen is coming out on your exhaust pipe. Now, if there is too much oxygen coming out, so if it detects and it sends a signal via this cable to your ECU that there's too much oxygen, it means that it can add more gasoline. Or in other words, you would call this that the mixture of gasoline and air intake here is too lean. You don't have enough gasoline to make sure that you burn all of the oxygen. So you need the oxygen combined with the gasoline to have a complete combustion. And if you have too much oxygen just left in your combustion, it means that you could add more gasoline to combust more. At the same time, if there would be no oxygen left at all, so everything has been burned, so you have a mixture that is too rich, it means that you're injecting too much fuel, so all of the oxygen has been used. Now, in practice, you're not really aiming here for a perfect combustion where you would just inject perfectly the correct amount of gasoline to burn all of the oxygen, because manufacturers have to comply with emissions regulations. So most of the time, they definitely don't want to have a mixture that is too rich. That means you're applying or you're injecting too much fuel. Now, if you would be in a competition environment where the priority is to deliver power and not really to comply with emissions regulations, well, then that's a different story. That's why it's very common on racing motorcycles that you feel a little bit of a gasoline smell, very likely because they run the motorcycle towards the rich side, which means too much gasoline to get the maximum power out. For our consumer motorcycles, it's actually there to adjust the combustion to make sure that the correct amount of fuel is coming in and to comply with emissions regulations. So the job is very simple to do. This is the O2 sensor. If you need to change the exhaust pipe of your motorcycle, now you know how to do this part here as well. And on the unlikely case that you need to change this part, then you also know how to do it. If you haven't yet, make sure to check out royamoto.com, not only the toolkit here for the CRF300L, but for many other motorcycle models. These are motorcycle specific toolkits. They include exactly what you need, not more, not less, high quality, compact and lightweight toolkit. So check out royamoto.com and I see you on the next video. Bye bye guys, ride safe.